So one of my hopes when I put together the PEPP program and did something a little bit different from what I used to do when I would just do acquisition consulting, help somebody buy a business and move on, is that with this group, we could start to implement one of the most powerful strategies that I implement in my own portfolio and one of the things that we do in the fund. And that is allowing you guys to come together and begin cross promoting each other's deals. It's such a powerful way to grow a business. And, when you look at the obvious things, there are also some really unique, maybe not so obvious synergies that you're able to create between businesses. When I'm looking at a deal and I've got another business that's in the travel space, it's obvious that if I've got two businesses in the travel space, I can cross promote those two businesses, grow them both, and end up with a situation where 2 plus 2 equals 6, or even eight. So when we're doing those kind of deals, it's obvious. We know exactly kind of how we're going to cross promote those, and it grows both businesses and allows us to pay a lot more for a business or put a higher down payment and still end up with a really great return on both businesses. Because if I can even pay cash for a business at a 2 multiple and then double the size of that business by promoting it to another list that has a similar size, and that list is interested in the first business's product. Now all of a sudden I really paid 50% down for that business. So when you get really good at that, this is where you can really create money out of thin air. You can compete in a bigger way on deals because you're able to pay a lot more for a business than anybody else is. And it's the power of having your own portfolio, but it's certainly the power of being a part of this program. And I want you guys to start to leverage that. One of the businesses that's worth studying is IAC. And it was started by Barry Diller. He came from a really long history in Hollywood, and he came from Paramount. And what they did with IAC is what we're kind of doing with the fund, what I've done with my portfolio, and what I want you guys to do together. And it's buying these web properties and then starting to cross promote them. And what they've proven is exactly what I said. It's not that you need this business to be in the same industry. In fact, sometimes it's powerful when they're not in the same industry. So what Barry Diller really did that was genius was he took a concept that Paramount and Hollywood has used forever. It's this idea of having a movie that's a big blockbuster, and then they use that movie to promote all the other movies. If you're gonna do a promotion, it's just really powerful to also promote everything else. It's one of the reasons that we closed on the deal Blue Dot. We're still just getting to the point where we want to aggressively pursue those strategies. So a lot of what we're doing in the fund and cross promoting things, and some of the things we want to do at Event, just there's a lot of opportunity in the deals that we're closing to be able to leverage this strategy. And in some cases, you don't need, just because there was a romance movie, it doesn't necessarily mean that all the other trailers in front of that movie should be romance. It could be other things that are somewhat complementary, or just getting a little bit of exposure for something that's totally off the wall and not connected. So when Barry Diller got to IAC and started to buy these web properties, what he saw that nobody else, and this is years and years ago, where there had also just been a downturn in the economy and the dot-com bust and all these things. And what people started to feel like was, oh, this internet thing is just a fluke. There's not going to be any huge amount of great businesses that come from this. And that was really the sentiment in 2002, 2003, after the 2001 bubble burst. But what Barry Diller saw was these are still eyeballs. Like, for me in the movie business, to get my trailer in front of this many eyeballs is worth a lot of money. So I don't care what anybody else says. I'm just going to go ahead and buy these eyeballs and take this risk. And what he ended up doing that was brilliant, because it wasn't easy to get access to capital. So he could take over the business based on cash flow, but then getting money to grow the businesses was nearly impossible. Nobody was lending. It was kind of where we were in 2009, 2010. People definitely weren't trying to lend on internet businesses or even invest in internet business. So in order to grow each business, what he did that was genius was start cross promoting. And so one of the greatest cross promotions he did was taking the Expedia brand and then cross promoting that with Match.com, and grew those businesses in a very huge way. Even if you go back historically, it's some of the highest growth periods was when they first introduced that to each business's traffic. It grew both of those businesses almost exponentially. And that's kind of what we want to do. And so in the Facebook group, one of the conversations that I want you guys to start to have is talking about the businesses that you either own, you're an investor in, or you're looking at and considering, and start trying to figure out, okay, how could I work with other businesses? And is a business that I'm considering right now a benefit to another business that someone owns in the group, or can I benefit from another business and create this joint venture between the two of us where we're able to grow both of our businesses? This is one of the most powerful strategies, and it's exciting that we're now getting to the point where we've got enough of these deals, we're closing enough of these deals that you guys can start to have some of those conversations. Now, some of the things are really obvious. Obviously, if you have two email lists, you can do cross promotions there. You can create an affiliate agreement between the two of you. If you are using SEO, then there's opportunities to do backlinks between the two companies and leverage that kind of strategy. If you have a blog, you can write an article about another business and exchange those kinds of things. And then you could just do things like a banner ad or putting up a video from the other business that talks about each other's businesses. And outside of that, there are also social media assets that are coming with all of these as well. So it could be, hey, I've got 50,000 followers on my Instagram. I see you only have 30. Maybe you do 2 posts, I'll do 1 post. And I want to start to see some of that collaboration, because the better you get at this part of the business, this is where you can take a deal and turn an all right deal into an amazing deal. This is also a skill set that becomes really, really powerful when you've got a business that may be on a downturn, and starting to get good at this is just a long-term aspect of being able to grow a business. When I talk about the only skill set you really need to understand is deal making, to be able to make a business work, in addition to just getting the deal done and then selling the business, leveraging that skill set in just running the business itself and growing the business is a powerful thing as well. So hope you guys get at it. Hope this was valuable, and very excited about this group. I think this is one of the things, in addition to just talking about the deals you're doing, to get something done. You know, that's my goal with this whole thing is let's close deals, let's make money, let's invest passively in deals, let's become leads on deals. And then the second part of that is in the businesses that we are running, let's figure out how we can work together to grow each other's businesses. Thanks so much. Talk to y'all soon.